Please welcome AWE CEO and co-founder, Ori Inbar.
Hello, Santa Clara! Woo! Welcome to the 13th AWE USA 2022. Thank you all for joining us in here and out there on AWE Live. It's good to see so many old friends and many new friends here today. It feels like the XR community is back home. Awesome. You know, last year we started with an 80s icon, the first avatar on TV.
Max Headroom!
With a cardboard face filter for some reason. And this year, I want to start with another origin story from the 80s. The first 3D music video on MTV. How about these characters, right? Wouldn't you kill for these kind of avatars? And it was also a good excuse to do some air guitar for you, right? I know, I should have learned to play the guitar. I should have learned to... I can do it much better than that, I know this. There must be some non-millennials here that still remember this song. I should have learned to play the guitar. I should have learned to... play the drum. That's what I'm talking about. Kudos. Trust me, I actually tried. Since I was a child, I had a dream to rock on stage. I learned hard. I practiced for days and years. But it was never good enough to rock on stage. I had the hair though. So, air guitar. Turns out that air guitar is a pretty big thing. Did you know there's a world championship for air guitar? And there are a lot of dreamers out there. But you know what? Air guitar is not satisfying enough. The real dream is to feel like you're actually playing a guitar on stage. Maybe augmented reality can help. I have these super cool Mictic bracelets on that can help me play an invisible guitar. You want to help me make my dream come true right here live on stage? Yeah. All right, you're so kind. All right, AR Wall team, let's put up the 3D background to get into the mood. All right. Now, let's set it up. We'll get the pick for a little bit of confidence. And we should be ready in a second. All right. We're good. Let's do this. Thank you. Woo. That was tough. I appreciate it. Obviously, real musicians have nothing to fear. But you see, unlike air guitar, thanks to these AR bracelets from Mictic, I feel like I'm actually rocking on stage, like I'm actually doing it. Speaking of dreams, this week in Awe is all about dreams and how XR makes them a reality. And to avoid any doubt, we're not talking about Freud type of dreams. We're talking about Martin Luther King type of dreams. Aspirations, ambitions, goals. And you know, dreams are serious business because in dreams, we plant the seeds of the future. A famous quote by none other than, can you guess who? Cinderella. And the case I want to make with you today is that XR is already making dreams come true for many people all over the world. You dream of walking on the moon? Check. Not just for billionaires. Flying in the sky? Check. Just look at my smile from AWE 2015. Exploring the deep sea? Dream accomplished. Dreaming of visiting the 7 wonders of the world? XR got you covered. Dreaming of climbing Everest? How about this afternoon? With XR, your bucket list can be filled in no time. Now let's kick it up a notch. All kids dream of superpowers, right? Any grown kids here that are still dreaming of superpowers? I see a few. So this is for you. At AWE, we've been showcasing XR superpowers for years. So here are my top 10. Number 1, X-ray vision. With these glasses, nurses can see the veins under your skin and never miss a shot. Number 2, teleportation. Hang out with your loved ones, even if they're remote, as if you're in the same room. Number 3, matter manipulation. Let's fold some molecules and discover new drugs, the good ones. Number 4, invisibility. Not sure exactly why, but it's pretty cool, right? Shape-shifting. This is just pure fun, only limited by our imagination. Number 6, super strength. Athletes can push themselves forward and beat the competition. Just XR it, trademark. Number 7, skill mastery. When you can master skills at the speed of light. A really useful superpower like this AR pool table, where you can instantly learn how to hit the ball into the hole every single time. Number 8, telekinesis. Move things without touching them. Number 9, precognition. See the future before it occurs, and even change it. And my personal favorite, number 10, time travel. Travel back in time to 1961 to see the Berlin Wall and how 77-year-old Frida is trying to escape for safety. Don't worry, she made it. If you can dream it, XR can make it happen. Are you still with me? Yeah. All right. So how about some family-oriented dreams? Many parents dream their kids would play more in the real world, not just in front of a screen, right? Any parents agree with me here? Yeah. All right, we got some parents agreeing. So in the summer of 2016, their dreams came true with Pokemon Go. They went out to the parks and met friends. And how about this guy? He had a dream to play Super Mario in Central Park. How about that? Can't have a dog, but dreaming of petting one? With this AR app, you actually feel like you're doing it. And if your family dream is to shop, 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 and never drop, because you're sitting on a couch at home, but can still try on everything, that's sweet. The next dream is extremely emotional. Viewer discretion advised. In this video, filmed in VR, a heart-wrenching reunion between a mother and her deceased daughter. Not a dry eye in the room. It's really hard to transition from this, but we have a lot more dreams. So let's turn our attention right now to the lifelong dreams of the XR community itself. Creators, artists, designers, make some noise! All right. You dream of reinventing art, where your home becomes the gallery, or reinventing fashion, where you can switch your AR clothing at the flip of a finger. You dream of reinventing experiences. This Game of Thrones experiences on the Flatiron building in New York City was a game changer. And everyone is dreaming of creating the coolest avatar, right? At least 3 people. And how about dreaming of getting legs for your avatar? Finally. Or perhaps you want to reinvent interaction altogether. Get rid of the keyboard, the mouse, and even controllers. All right, moving on. Startups, make some noise! Always chasing the dream, right? We have a record number of 150 startups at AWE this year. And you guys always dream of inventing new stuff, building something great. And a big exit, right? So just check out how many XR startups fulfilled that dream in just the last 9 months. Check. Hopefully a big check. Give them up. And investors, you dream of being early in a big new opportunity. Not just a fad, NFT. And XR gives you one of the biggest opportunities of our lifetime. All right, enterprises, end users of XR. Many such businesses are here this week because they dream of making work more productive and safer, of making their companies more successful. Just check out this worker on the right with the AR glasses, completes his wiring job way faster than before on the left. They're living the dream. Of course, our dreams shouldn't only focus on personal gain. We need to dream with humility. And there are many such dreamers here. They dream for good, dreaming of healing people, dreaming of educating the next generation, where students can learn deeper by seeing invisible things like electricity, sound waves, magnetic waves. And dreaming of making society more equitable, like this incredible VR experience, traveling while black. And honoring an icon, helping to deal with grief, like award winner Brianna's Garden. Give him a big round of applause. Dreams also reflect our concerns about the future. How do we ensure privacy, ethics, and safety in this XR future? The good news is that, again, we have many great activists here working hard to ensure that this dream doesn't become a nightmare. Where are you folks? XRSI, XRA, the new XR Guild? Make some noise. All right. Today is the first day of Pride Month. Shout out to the Pride community. AR and VR has been helping to remember and empathize with this community for a while. And another big shout out to Ukraine. Many Ukrainians couldn't be here this week. They have a different kind of dream, a dream of survival. And AWE was able to help in a small way. Ukrainian companies were offered free space in the expo floor. And I'm happy to say that 3 companies, WePlay, Diverium, and Beat Shapers, were able to make it. So please visit them and support them. You know, since 2010, our passion at AWE has been to help the XR community fulfill their dreams. And now, I want to hear about your dreams for this week. You ready for this? All right, who has a dream to share? Come on, raise your hand if you have a dream to share. Ooh, that's a far one. No one else has a dream? Can you get all the way? Let's come from the back. All right, name, company, and dream. I'll hold it.
My name is Quentin Turner. I'm the CTO and founder of Intrinsic Reality. And my dream is to make connections and win this pitch competition.
Fantastic, that's a dream. Give it up. All right, any more dreams? I have a dream in the back. Can you reach all the way? All right, let's try that. All right, remind us your name and company and dream.
All right, Nicole Lazaro from Zio Design, Zio Play. Awesome to be here at AWE. My dream is to unlock human potential through play.
Great one. Anyone else wants to share a dream? We have another dream here. Lee, what's your dream?
Thank you, Ari. My name is Ali Hantal. I'm with Open Air Cloud Association. My dream is to make the AR cloud, the real world metaverse, open and interoperable.
Nice one. You see, I told you we have some great activists here. All right, thank you for sharing your dreams. May all your dreams come true this week. We're going to do everything we can to make it happen. And now let's move on. All right, so we completed a world tour of dreams across the entire XR industry. You helped me make my personal dream come true. We filled our bucket list. We got 10 superpowers, made families happy, and fulfilled the XR community dreams, and even heard about your dreams here for this week. But the biggest dream of all is saving the world. We're seeing more fires and droughts, heat waves and floods, just crazy weather all around the world. Climate change is the biggest threat facing humanity in the next few decades. We can and must do more about it, not just as individuals, you know, buying electric vehicles and going solar. I'm talking about using the superpower of XR. You know, it's hard to fight a threat when you cannot see it on your day-to-day. But XR has the power to visualize. It can make climate change feel more personal and real so that everyone takes action. Guys, I'm really serious about this. I'm so serious that today I'm announcing the XR Prize Challenge to fight climate change. We're looking for teams who can demonstrate a convincing solution that will harness the power of AR and VR to fight climate change. The winning team will be announced right here next year, on the same stage. And if saving the world is not enough of an incentive for you, AWE will offer the winning team $100,000. Not in Dogecoin, I'm talking about real hard cash, all right? And if you're interested to compete or you want to partner with us, sign up at this URL. Time is of the essence. So let's get started. Speaking of prizes, who's dreaming of winning an Augie tomorrow night? We had one there. Anyone else? Okay. We can cancel it if you want. So by now, I think I made a strong case that XR indeed makes dreams a reality. And that it's so much better than just air guitar, right? You know, in these crazy 2020s, I think it's nice for a change to kind of focus on the uplifting things in life. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hey, that's a cool line for a song. I have to remember that. In fact, many songs have been written about dreams.
Dream, 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 dream.
But the new songs about how XR will fulfill the dreams of every single person on Earth are yet to be written by you guys. And this week at AWE should give you all the inspiration. 250 exhibitors, the largest expo we've ever had. Give them one. And even more. 400 of the best speakers around the world, the most diverse lineup we've ever had, and a record number of 150 female speakers. Give them up. Talks will cover every aspect of AR, VR, and the best way to enjoy this massive agenda is to download AWE.live app from the app stores. You can personalize your agenda, navigate the expo floor, and connect with all attendees and exhibitors. There are now 11,000 people on the platform that join online events every week of the year. And we have dream sponsors this year. Give them up a big round of applause. They made it all possible for us to meet here this week. And here's the dream team, seen here on one of a zillion Zoom calls that it took to actually make this event a reality. And as you go on to enjoy AWE, I want to leave you with one last statistic about my talk. Times the word dream was mentioned, 57. Times the M word was mentioned, 0. Just saying. So let's kick some dreams into reality. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy AWE.
All right, good morning, AWE 2022. Thank you so much for Ori's awesome, motivating welcome keynote. I'll be your track chair for today. My name is Steph Hutka. I'm a user experience research lead at Meta. And yeah, just here to say welcome to day one of AWE. How are we feeling? What's the energy level like? All right, solid. I'll hold you accountable to that. So today we're here in Mission City Ballroom, and as you may have noticed, we're featuring the main stage track. And this is my 4th AWE. I've been here as a participant, as a speaker, and now up here on stage, so really delighted to be here with you today. So before I get to introducing our next speaker, John Riccitiello of Unity, I've got some housekeeping to go over with you, so bear with me for a little bit there. So first off, and Ori mentioned this a little bit too, we've got our AWE.live app, or you can use our mobile site. Here you can put together your own agenda for AWE, find exhibitors, and connect with other audience members. And we also have some special events. Our welcome reception sponsored by Zappar at the Hyatt Pool from 6 to 8 p.m. We've got a coffee break. I'm personally very stoked about this. There's free coffee in the Mission City lobby starting at 10:20 a.m. Then we've also got tomorrow's special events with our expo opening. That's from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. A happy hour sponsored by Vario tomorrow from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. inside the playground. And then we've also got the Augie Awards. Oh, I have this nice podium. This is much better. All right, so you can watch the Augies on the main stage in this Mission City Ballroom tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow's special event, we've got an after party sponsored by TikTok. Tomorrow, 8 to 11 p.m. at Sushi Confidential in San Jose, about 15 minutes away. There's a one-way shuttle service to Sushi Confidential provided after the Augie ceremony, and 2 complimentary drink and food tickets are provided. That brings me to another important topic, food, very near and dear to my heart. Food is available for purchase at the Hyatt and various outlets throughout the convention center, credit cards only accepted. And then for social media, the AW team encourages you to post on social throughout the day, use their social, I can say words, channels, and use the hashtag AWE2022. And just a quick reminder, all of our sessions are being recorded and will be made available for all in-person and virtual attendees on the awe.live platform after the event. And then we have network, got Wi-Fi, super important. The network is AWE_Wi-Fi. Password is welcome, ! All lowercase welcome, ! And then last but certainly not least, we have our sponsor appreciation. So we would like to thank our gold sponsors for their support. So we've got Arbor XR, HoloLight, HP, Meta, Niantic, CarryR, Metadome, Snap, TikTok, Soar, and Metamaterials. And an extra big thank you to our titanium sponsors, Avatar, Magic Leap, Qualcomm, and Unity Technologies. So that brings me to John Riccitiello, who's our next speaker. John serves as the Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Unity Technologies, the world's leading platform for creating and operating real-time 3D content. In his talk, entitled Getting Beyond the Fiction and Seeing the Reality in the Metaverse, John breaks down the tech industry's word du jour, the metaverse, what the metaverse is and isn't, and how brands can get beyond the buzzwords. Please welcome John Riccitiello of Unity. Thank you.
That's a really kind introduction, and welcome to AWE 2022. It's a pleasure to see everyone in person, and for those of you online, welcome as well. Now, you may have noticed in the description, I'm here to do something that I think is potentially dangerous. I intend to specifically define the term metaverse. Now, I'm sure this is going to cause a number of critics to step up and criticize. Still, I really do think we need a definition for a word in what it means in 22, given all the hoopla, all the science fiction, the fact that the tech industry has come forward and made it the next billion and trillion-dollar bet, all in just the last year or so. But still, it amazes me that a full year later, as this made the headlines, we're still arguing about what it actually means and if it actually means anything. So, Meta's president of global affairs wrote an 8,000-word essay. According to the Medium, it takes 33 minutes to read. We've only got 25, so I'm going to shorten it here. What he said was, the metaverse is a universal virtual layer that everyone can experience on top of today's physical world. Dolby's CEO said, I think the metaverse can take many forms, but ultimately, it's an audio-visual experience. Match's CEO said that the metaverse is a piano bar where people's digital selves are gathering around, but they're actually playing their pianos at home and jamming with others. And then Bill Gates theorized, I predict most meetings will move from 2D camera image grids, which I call the Hollywood Squares model, to the metaverse, a 3D space with digital avatars. Now there's many other definitions than that. These are a few. But then you might ask yourself, why should you listen to my definition? Well, I've had a bit of a ringside seat to what is now being described as the metaverse. I spent the last 25 years of my life working in gaming, launching many games that people today would describe as metaverse experiences. I now work at Unity, where over half the world's games are built on our platform, and possibly more importantly, 60% of all AR and VR experiences are built on the Unity platform. And I was deeply involved with Brendan and Palmer when they launched Oculus. Brendan even edited his Andreessen pitch in my kitchen just prior to that first pitch and before he ended up selling the business to Facebook/Meta. So much of what Unity does today meets the definition of the metaverse. Hundreds of companies come to us every quarter to get their taste of the metaverse, to build what they want to see. Our digital twins business today powers full replications of products, manufacturing hubs, smart cities for the likes of Mercedes, eBay, Walgreens, Orlando, airports like Vancouver, enabling them to design and collaborate better, visualize their data better, and make better decisions. So in this world of metaverses, there may be no clear definition, but at least I've got some credentials to suggest that maybe my definition might be worth listening to. So here we go, the definition. The metaverse is the next generation of the internet that is always real-time, mostly 3D, mostly interactive, mostly social, and mostly persistent. All right, that's a lot to take in. Let's put those words on the screen and talk about it a bit. So here you go. The next generation of the internet, always real-time, mostly 3D, mostly interactive, mostly social, and mostly persistent. Now keep those words in mind as I go further to define what it means, but let's start with internet next. When you think of the internet, the way it's structured today, it's millions of destinations and websites with data being presented to you. Sometimes it's social, there's a limited amount of interactivity, it's not generally 3D, and it's definitely not real-time in any sense of the word, and that notion of presence is definitely not achieved. So when I say the metaverse is the next version of the internet, what I mean is step by step, we'll see more websites and experiences and applications that are increasingly real-time 3D, they're interactive, social, and they achieve persistence. Today, maybe 2% or so of the websites meet this definition. I'm going to pause for a bold prediction and say that soon, probably by the end of this decade, most websites will meet this definition. And millions of more metaverse destinations will entertain and help us be more productive and feel that much more smart. So critics, something to quibble with. I'm stating plainly here that the metaverse will be the next version of the internet where destinations are real-time, 3D, interactive, social, and persistent. Facebook and Reddit friends, something to fight about. Now, I'd also like to catch everybody up on what I mean when I say real-time. Now, real-time might be a term that you're not all familiar with. I imagine many of you are. So we all live in real time. No one knows for sure what's going to happen next. It depends on what you do. It depends on what happens around you. A movie, for example, is not real time. It's the same each and every time you watch it. Real time is a term used often in video gaming by the artists there, where the next frame is seen for the first time, based on whether you pressed X or O or triangle or square, or whether you or your competitor on a smartphone game touched the screen, how you touched it, when you touched it, what you intended. Most content today is not real time. Most games are, and many digital twins experiences are. And what I get to see is every day there's new real-time applications coming out. Now, before I go further, let's talk about this amazing author, Neal Stephenson, who coined the term metaverse back in 1992. He wrote the book Snow Crash. Now, I think he got an awful lot right, but I also think he got some things wrong. But just a quick refresher. The protagonist of Snow Crash was aptly named Hero Protagonist. Hero lived in what was intrinsically linking the real world to the digital world. One could say he lived a dual life. In the physical world, he delivered pizza and lived in a trucking container. In the digital world, which he experienced through his always-on AR glasses, he was an important player. He was powerful. He was respected. The book showed how these two worlds were both real to Hero and how they intersected. So let me start a little bit with what Neal Stephenson got right. Now, the metaverse will have destinations that feel real, a sense of being there, a sense of presence. And here, I think there's another word worth defining. You hear the word presence a lot. Now, presence is that feeling that being in another space and being in a digital world, In most of today's internet, when I go buy a book, for example, I don't feel like I've gone someplace else. The data's come to me. When I buy a tennis racket online, I don't think I'm there. I think it's coming into my computer. Now, the first time I experienced the pre-launch Oculus headset, they had me stand up and walk to the edge of a cliff. And I stepped off of it. Now, I won't do that here, but I fell down in fear. I felt like I really did step off into oblivion. Now that's presence. I felt I was there. I felt I was on a cliff edge. But you ask ourselves, where do we experience that incredible combination of great hardware and software artistry, that sense of presence, that sense of immersion? Now, MMO games are certainly an immersing experience. They get very close. And when they're really good, my imagination does take me the rest of the way. I feel like there's a sense of presence. Multiple AR and VR applications also provide that sense of presence, where I'm really thinking, feeling that I'm someplace else. Presence in a present and an alternative world. Now, there's many good examples to think about today. An early one is World of Warcraft. It presented players with a believable world, one where we literally feel we're living in it, through the battles and the friendships, new relationships, life and death. Guilds are like second families. New relationships spawn. Veteran players help one another. It's 3D, it's real time, it's persistent, and it's very social. Now, Roblox is another example. It's 3D, it's real time, it's interactive, it's persistent. And it happens to be the most popular game in the United States with people 5 to 12 years of age. And it was a lifeline for children during the pandemic. It gave children this immersive, predictable world in which they can meet friends. Pokemon Go is another example. People talk about it endlessly. Players join to take down Pokemon in what appear to be local gyms. They send gifts to far-flung Pokefriends. And Reddit, subreddits boast a channel of 700,000 members. The game is real-time. It's 3D, it's interactive, but I'd argue it's not fundamentally social or persistent. And while it does stitch together a real world, the digital presence in a brilliant way, I don't think it delivers on that sense of presence. You know where you are. Now, VR Chat, another one, is a top 10 gaming and chat platform, but unlike other games topping the charts, almost all of the content in VR Chat is created by the user community, not a professional studio or publisher. I think this is a great example of real-time, 3D, social, interactive platform that really does deliver that sense of presence. Now, these examples, they follow the definition of real-time, immersive, 3D persistence that we talk about at Unity. And I think you might see why I describe these experiences distinct from today's internet, or most of today's internet. One might argue that the internet's progressed from digital, or if you will, text, to photos, to video. And I think we're really at the start of that next generation of the internet. And that is, back to the definition, always real time. It's mostly 3D. It's mostly interactive. It's mostly social, and it's mostly persistent. And of all the components, I really think real time is the most important. The media is alive because the next event we experience is not predestined, but rather spontaneously arises out of the actions and the actions of those around you. The media is alive. Now, there's an order of magnitude of steps ahead to experience what today's internet will need to transform to. And this is where Snow Crash got a lot of things right. There are key aspects of Snow Crash that, at least in my opinion, are very right, and some where I think they fell short. Now, first off, let's start with where they got things wrong. Snow Crash presented a singular world, a universal world. Everything was inside it, much the same as Ready Player One. And I can see why this is an appealing concept, but I just don't think it's right. Now, Travis Scott performed in Fortnite. I don't think he's going to do all of his concerts in Fortnite. I don't see Netflix, opening up a Destiny inside of Disney's version of the Metaverse. I don't see eBay opening up inside of Amazon. Nor do I see the benefit for the video game, for example, a FIFA or a Call of Duty opening up inside of Roblox. My sense is that in time, there will be separate destinations inside the metaverse, and we'll bop from these one to another easily, instantly, much as we traverse multiple websites on the internet today. Now, I think it might even be more easy or faster, as more of the underlying infrastructure and plumbing will be smarter, more interoperable, and more seamless. So another piece of my metaverse destination. The metaverse is not and never will be a single destination. Whoa, we went backwards on our slides here. Sorry about that. We've learned a lot since Snow Crash and Ready Player One, and one thing we've learned, I think, is the metaverse, as I said, won't be, I love repetition. So what else did these authors get wrong? I'm sorry, we've got to go. What else did they get wrong? Here's another idea being promoted by some of the most important companies in the world. It's about avatars. Now, there's a lot of folks talking about and promoting the notion that avatars, a universal singular avatar, will represent you throughout the metaverse. I don't think this is right. I think it's simply wrong. I can see the need for avatars, for digital try-ons. I'm sure most of us will have avatars whose bodies are millimeter accurate to our own, copies of our bodies, so we can do try-ons of pants and shirts and jackets. I think it'll be really useful for a boutique, my favorite clothing brand, conveniently in my living room. But I'm not going to go this avatar battle. I'm not going to take the same avatar I tried clothes on and take it into Call of Duty or into a UFC game. There, I'm going to be taller, I'll be more muscular, I might actually get to be handsome. These types of things in a different world are more important. It won't be that same universal avatar. And I won't need that universal avatar if I'm doing a digital twin of my kitchen or my office or checking out whether I like the look of new furniture in my living room. Having an avatar here to decide whether I'm going to, say, a Lake Como or a Positano, it'll get in the way, it'll slow things down, it'll add no value. So the last thing I think these science fiction writers got wrong was presenting the metaverse as being experienced exclusively through an XR headset. Now, to be clear, I think there'll be many great experiences in the metaverse through XR, but they will also access these experiences through smartphones, TVs, game consoles, and tablets. We all have our hardware preferences today on the internet, and we'll have these same preferences. Maybe they'll change depending on the experience, but we're going to bring those with us. We're going to expect to be able to access the metaverse from whatever device we're using. That's proven out with games like Fortnite and Roblox and Rec Room and many others. And so I'm sort of done telling you what the metaverse is not. Let's go back a little bit to what it is. As I said before, it's the next step in the internet that's always real time. It's mostly 3D, mostly interactive, mostly social, mostly persistent. And over time, I think we'll see breathtaking experiences that are very different from what the internet is today. Now, these experiences, these many definitions, these many destinations will count to the millions. In my view, virtually everyone that's got a website today, by the year 2030, will have a metaverse destination. And taken together, I think all of these individual destinations will make up what I think of as a metaverse. They'll have an increasing sense of presence for the user, will feel transported to another place and another reality. And there's one more definition to consider. I think there'll be three broad categories of metaverse destinations. One will be 100% digital, like a Fortnite or a Roblox or VR chat. They'll be very social. We'll see education metaverses of this type. They won't have a strong intersection with real life. They will be 100% digital experiences. Places we'll go, places we'll experience the world with no real world parallel. Second, we're going to see applications that connect real life with the digital, or better known as digital twins. It could be me trying on a Gucci shirt to see if it fits, or I could be walking in a yet-to-be-built stadium if my seats have a good view, or enabling a manufacturing supervisor to operate that manufacturing facility from the comfort of her home, or a twin of an airport. These destinations will bridge the real world to the digital world. And third, I think there'll be metaverse applications that don't so much bridge the digital world to the real world. They're going to augment the real world. Much of what we see today in training, example of building things, JPL used Unity to visualize the build of the Mars rover. Peterbilt uses it for building out the trucks and their design. Volkswagen uses us for training thousands of their technicians on the assembly line, again, via augmented reality. This is that augmentation. So The definition remains always real time. Real time is foundational to metaverse destinations. The next frame is seen for the first and often the only time in history, based on your thumbs, your fingers, your eyes, your gestures. And the world would be the most dynamic possible for you. And this is what we consider when presence is achieved. Now, mostly 3D. 3D is another key part of achieving that sense of presence. It's also essential in games and architecture, most engineering. So in nearly all digital twins. Now 3D won't help us select the book, and I'm sure we'll want it for designing our kitchens or seeing how we look in a new outfit. Now, and while the information will be consumed in 2D, on a 2D screen, 3D can change how we digest information and makes activities like learning about the human body more immersive and more interactive. For most situations, 3D is better. Now, interactive. All that real-time content can be driven by you alone, but it isn't just as interesting when there's more, it's more interesting when there's someone else there, someone else that's helping driving part of the equation. Whether you're using digital twins to operate a big factory or working collaboratively to design a house, doing so together interactively is often better. Social connectivity. Let's go back to that virtual try-on. You can try on that suit or dress or jacket with your friends in the room advising you, just like real life, except you won't have to fight for parking. And mostly persistent. Whether you're playing a game, you knock down a wall, it stays knocked down. You have a digital twin of a manufacturing facility, the wear and tear on the parts is real, it's visible. You can understand it and act on it. And that note you left in a digital room for your very real world partner, that note will be there when he or she comes to find it, when they get home. So there you have it, a definition of the word metaverse, the next version of the internet, always real time, and mostly 3D, interactive, social, and persistent. Now for me at least, this definition lets me imagine tomorrow and to predict a few things. First, as I said, there'll be many millions of metaverse destinations. Most entities will have websites and soon will have metaverse destinations counting into the millions. Second, there are some obvious killer apps that will thrive in the metaverse. One will be a contextual app launcher. You'll walk down the street with your family in the evening. You have your AR glasses on, you look at a restaurant. Because it's evening and you're with your family, you might look at that restaurant, it'll tell you what's on the menu, might remind you you've been there before, whether there's an open table. The next day, you're an architect. You're walking down that same street. You glance at the same building, but because it's contextually aware, this new launcher will open a different application, understanding who and where you are, and it'll tell you about the architect, the builder, when it was built, and any particular design interest points that you need to understand. That's a contextual and connected. It's the combination of the best digital world using real-time 3D that is interactive, persistent, and that remains connected to others socially interacting with the physical world. Now, through all of what we showed you today, my hope is you see a metaverse becoming more than a singular place visited by your universal avatar, accessed by a universal VR headset. It is so much more. From the original internet that was entirely text-based and the 2D-based photo and video-centric internet we are experiencing today, we're on the threshold of something huge. Real-time interactive internet driven by compelling 3D content that is largely persistent, social, and interactive. The reality of a metaverse today is a world beyond the science fiction of the 1990s. So whether you're an architect or a small retailer, a clothing designer, or you direct movies, whether you move furniture, run physical stadiums, you lead a rock band, or make high-end luxury goods, it's time to think deeply about the coming metaverse and how you'll succeed in this new world. I hope that this talk and this definition of the metaverse can be a call of imagination to inspire you to build the next era of the internet through real-time 3D. So think on it. What will your killer app be? So just maybe, we at Unity might be able to help. If you're looking to learn more about what we're up to at Unity, we have a QR code up here. Snap it and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Hello, hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Yes, excellent. Yeah, thank you so much to John Riccitiello for that inspiring talk. As a user experience researcher for the past 7 years in the XR industry, one of the pieces of John's definition of the metaverse, namely mostly 3D, really resonated with me. One of the things I've seen time and time again across user experience research studies, especially even if we're talking about mobile AR, is just how quickly people will start to ascribe real-world properties to digital content. Like if I'm looking at this water bottle, I'm interacting with a 3D object, and you'll see people, trying to grab the digital object that's in front of their camera, and that happens real fast. Or in tracking, for let's say you're trying to pin a poster to the wall, if that tracking's not working, people are like, hey, I can pin a poster to the wall in real life. Why can't I do that in XR? So definitely mostly 3D sounds about right as we're moving towards this world where we're kind of mirroring our perceptual system. But I'm also a former academic, PhD in perception and cognition, so I could go on for some time. So to cut myself off there and introduce our next speaker, we've got Hugo Swart from Qualcomm Technologies. So Hugo serves as VP and GM of XR for Qualcomm Technologies, Inc. And as the leader of the XR team at Qualcomm, Hugo has a front row seat to the platforms, technologies, and solutions under development that are your ticket to the metaverse. Today, Hugo will be presenting your ticket to the metaverse, spatial computing experiences with Snapdragon spaces, and what's next in AR. He'll tell us about the constellation of the devices and exciting developer tools like Snapdragon Spaces that'll drive truly immersive spatial computing experiences. Please welcome Hugo.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. The momentum in our XR industry is amazing. There's so much happening. You can feel the energy in this room. You can feel the energy in this show. We're really building a new world together. Yes, the metaverse. And Qualcomm is excited to help all of you to build this new world. So, today, I'm looking forward to speak to you first about Qualcomm's investment to enable the industry. Then let's talk about the AR glasses evolution, how head-worn AR will evolve for us to experience the metaverse. And third, how we are empowering developers with Snapdragon Spaces to create content and apps. And I have some exciting announcements on this one. Let's start by looking at Snapdragon. Most of you know that Snapdragon platforms power many of the devices that we use in our daily lives. Of course, Android premium smartphones, smartwatches, routers, automotive, and of course, XR. XR is a bet that we made long time ago. Actually, this year marks the 15th anniversary that we're working on XR. We went from early R&D in smartphone AR to dedicated chips for AR and VR. Reference designs that created new categories of devices. We already launched more than 50 devices between AR glasses and VR headsets, and made 3 acquisitions just over the last 12 months. But of course, this is not the end. There's still many things, many exciting things on the way for us to reach the holy grail glasses that we all want. And many of you have been with us, have been with Qualcomm on this journey with a shared vision of XR. Qualcomm has been with AWE since the beginning. For the last few years, we addressed how 2D screens are going to disappear. and now become spatial computing, where the world is your screen. We also talked about how 5G, AI, and XR are coming together to enable this new world. And last year, here at AWE, we announced our developer platform, Snapdragon Spaces. And we know that XR, we here in this room and in this conference know how complex XR is. A lot of moving pieces to move the industry forward. And one of Qualcomm's strengths is actually to work on complex problems. And we divided our business strategy, our business, into 4 key areas. The first one, obviously, chips, platforms. You know, the XR1, XR2, that provide the computing, the connectivity, the AI as foundation for all AR and VR devices out there. Second, the software, algorithms, technology, perception. Third, reference designs that lead the way into what our partners are going to develop, commercialize in the future. Many of you may have seen an announcement we made last week. And then fourth, ecosystem, so that we can enable everyone to contribute in this journey. So let's now talk about the evolution of AR glasses, the evolution of head-worn AR. Today, in this journey to the Holy Grail AR glasses, we're enabling partners with 4 different categories of head-worn devices. At the top, you see VR-type headsets with video pass-through that enable mixed reality, or you can think about augmented reality experiences in a VR headset. Provide great field of view. Great example is the Lynx product some of you saw at Qualcomm's booth last AWE. Then you see standalone or all-in-one AR headsets that provide great functionality, but still a little bit bigger. Great for enterprises. Example, Microsoft HoloLens. Now, if you look at the bottom of this slide, smart glasses, great form factor, sleek design, but simpler functionality. Heads-up display type, many times without a display, but offer the utility for end users. And you see examples like Vuzix, RealWear, the Ray-Ban stories. But now, very important, smart viewers, AR smart viewers that connect to a phone or to a PC, enabling the good balance between performance specs, features, and size. All these 4 tracks are going to continue to evolve. Smart glasses are going to have better displays, are going to start connecting to phones. All-in-one are going to get smaller, connecting to phones and PCs. And then we see the convergence on one glass that does it all. But of course, one glass that does it all, that is sleek. Key parameter, it needs to have very low power, less than a watt for the whole glass. And how do you provide that immersive, rich experiences with such low power? Yes, Qualcomm is doing a lot in the silicon space, but you need more. And how do you do that? You do that with seamless interaction between the glass and a constellation of devices around you. This is why we're working on split processing, making possible immersive AR with sleek, lightweight, high-performance solution. Now, what is split processing? Here I have an example of split processing between an AR viewer and a smartphone. You see perception workloads being processed in the glass. Send over either cable or wireless to the phone. The phone is the one where the application is running. So it will render the frames, encode it, send it back to the glass. Glass decodes it, does display processing, image processing, things like warping, reprojection, and then an immersive user experience. So that was one example of how glasses and phones are actually already working today. But as we go into the future, you're going to see split processing happening dynamically between Proxima devices, leveraging the right host for the activity of or level of processing needed. This will include your computer, your PC, even your car, home router, and of course, directly to the cloud as well. And all of this, the goal is to make it completely invisible to the end user. And Qualcomm is working on this so that the whole industry can benefit. So that's a quick view on how we see AR glasses evolving. Let's now move into ecosystem. We know that for AR and the broader Metaverse vision to realize, it is important to grow the content ecosystem, to enable developers create amazing experiences to the end users. And that is why last AWE, we announced Snapdragon Spaces Developer Platform, an open platform, cross-device platform, delivering the spatial computing tools for developers to create immersive head-worn AR experiences. Snapdragon Spaces has many features, including positional tracking, anchors, plane detection, hand tracking, and more. It was only 6 months ago that we announced it, but a lot has happened since then. We opened our early access program to 10 developers who contributed to actually build spaces, sharing their learning, ideas, and feedback. We grew our development team. We made updates to our Unity and Unreal SDKs with feedback that we got from these early access developers. We also worked with big brands, big companies in the gaming industry. We announced the partnership with Square Enix, a leading game company many of you know, to take their existing IP from a 2D screen IP into AR. Stay tuned for that. And many startups in the audience, many of them here at the show, we're also investing in the ecosystem with our $100 million Snapdragon Metaverse Fund, together with Qualcomm Ventures. And today, I'm excited to announce the first Qualcomm Ventures funded companies, Trip and Echo 3D. But there's more. We also have our Pathfinder program, which provides early access to software releases, development kits, marketing support for developers. We received hundreds of applications. Another announcement. Today, I'm excited to announce the first cohort of 23 supported projects shown on this slide. We want to bring as many developers as we can along with us on this. So please continue to register to apply into the Pathfinder program. So now, the moment I actually was waiting for since we started with the inception of this program. We can't wait to have more people contributing and creating experiences with Snapdragon Spaces. So that's why we are announcing today that Snapdragon Spaces is available for everyone to download. Yes, our dev portal is live with both Unity and Unreal SDKs. We're very excited to open this platform to work with all of you. So I invite you to work with Spaces, to develop and create with Spaces. So together, we can write the next chapter of the Metaverse journey. together with the software SDK, with the software developer kit, of course, there's a hardware developer kit. So the hardware developer kit, we're working closely with Lenovo and Motorola. Lenovo Think Reality A3 AR Smart Viewer and the Motorola Edge smartphone. So the hardware developer kit, SDK, that's all the developers need to start with amazing AR experiences. Of course, this is just the first release. More will come. We will have a fast pace of introducing new features, so welcome you to try it, provide feedback, and help us work together on this journey. I also want to talk about different types of developers that can take advantage of Snapdragon Spaces. Of course, there are many types of developers, but I want to call out 4 types of developers. First type, the VR developer, the developer that has content built for VR. Okay, start by removing the background of that VR experience and porting it to AR. Not all games, not all apps are as easy as that, but some of them are. And we want to work with the VR developer community. Second, the people, the developers that build for AR in other platforms. Well, it should be a very simple port as per feedback of some of our early access partners. Third category, developers that work with the smartphone AR, AR Foundation, AR Kit, AR Core. Hey, try it and see it how it looks on the glass. Work with us. Now the fourth one, maybe not as natural to the audience. Your regular mobile 2D screen type developer. We have something, I think, game-changing to get these developers working on head-worn AR. For now, we call this concept AR as a feature. What is AR as a feature? How do we lower the barrier for these mobile developers to start doing AR in glasses? Let me give you an example. Think about this mobile developer with a game, racing game. How can we make it easy for this game developer to now introduce an AR layer that works together with what's happening in the main 2D screen? So in this example, it would be this racetrack overlaid next to the phone. So this enhances the AR experience with very little effort from the developer. And of course, the developer can add more and more into it. So that's how you get the mobile developers starting with head-worn AR. And choices that the developer can have, of course, I can lock that racetrack on the phone, on the wall, floating in the air. But, it gives spaces, Snapdragon Spaces give that tool for developers to start experimenting. With that, I want to now invite one of our early access developers to stage. Introducing Paul Brady, president and co-founder of Resolution Games. Paul.
Thank you, Hugo. Thanks. It's been really fun to be here over the last decade or so, watching all the industry ups and downs. This really reminds me of 6 or so years ago when VR had its big breakout moment. The mainstream potential was palatable. And what's really awesome about VR and AR's proximity is that we have the luxury of taking lessons learned from just a couple of years ago or even months ago and applying them now. We can set new standards and we can iterate on them quickly, making them even better. And with tools like Unity and Snapdragon Spaces, we can bring VR experiences to AR much more quickly than we could before and easily as well. And we can experiment with pass-through and progressive head-mounted displays now. To me, this is one of those industry ups. Now, last fall, we stood on this stage and announced a dedicated AR division within Resolution Games. And this week, we're going to be showing off some of their work for the first time. Tomorrow, we'll be showing a hands-on proof of concept of our hit tabletop RPG, Demio, in AR. We've only had our hands on the commercial dev kit for a few weeks now, so it's very early still and far from consumer ready. But it gives a good sense of the ease of taking those first steps and bringing a VR experience to AR using Snapdragon Spaces. And thanks to Snapdragon Spaces' compatibility with OpenXR and Qualcomm's hardware-agnostic approach, we're going to be able to bring experiences like Demio and our other titles to larger amount of AR headsets much more easily and faster. I hope you get a chance to check out our early Demio AR experience at the Qualcomm booth tomorrow when the expo opens. And thanks a lot for all the support and collaboration over the years within this industry. Back to you, Hugo.
Thanks, Paul.
Got it, thank you.
Okay, so as you saw, that's the first example, of type of developer, a VR developer moving, content to AR. I'm going to show a few demos or videos, actually a video, that with a few more experiences that are ready. Some of them you'll see them at our booth tomorrow. Again, what you see here really doesn't really do justice to the content. We just had a camera behind the glass. Well, the artifacts I don't think were part of the demo, but so again, these are apps that were built on Snapdragon Spaces. You are going to see them in our booth tomorrow. So yeah, please check that out. So the apps that we're going to be showing is Figment XR. Many of you know Javier. Forward AR games. The Snapdragon Studios we have in house. You saw the Air Derby. That's them. And Trip plus Demio. So what you have seen is really just the beginning. We're excited about the future of AR and Snapdragon Spaces. And there's a rapidly growing community of developers, OEMs, operators on that journey. Come join us. And so hopefully, through this presentation, seeing the Qualcomm's investments on the chips, technologies, reference designs, ecosystems, the reason why we believe that Snapdragon will be the ticket to the metaverse. So, I encourage everyone to sign up to our dev portal, download Snapdragon Spaces, and start building today. Please come by our booth to see exciting experiences with Spaces and chat with some of our early access developers. And if you'd like to learn more about Snapdragon Spaces, we also have additional couple sessions here. One with Steve Lucas and one with Katie, where they will start showing under the hood what's in Spaces, how to develop. So please join these exciting talks later today. With that, conclude. Thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you all to build a metaverse together.